just saw you.
You did just see me.
Yay! Just like 2 days ago, we were together. Actually, I guess it was longer ago than that, but maybe 3 or 4. But
It was a spur of the moment trip for me. You had it planned for a while.
I did. I got a ridiculous airfare to go visit our parents. It's the cheapest I've ever paid, even way back in the 90s. It was more. And so I thought, well, at $150 to fly across the country, I'm just gonna go just for a visit. And Andrea decided last minute to come and join me. And so
Well, I decided because my husband quit his
your
job.
husband, and he wanted to come.
It was fantastic. I've been wanting him to do something new for a while, and I'm so excited for him. New opportunities.
It is so
exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for him too. I think, yeah. I mean, I told him that, right? Like that, the world is just full of opportunity. So I'm really excited.
He really wants to come and work for Knitrino, but it's very hardcore that he must learn how to knit a little bit more proficiently.
Yeah. Now my boyfriend is knitting. He's actually knitting what I'm wearing, but it's been in progress for a very long time. He needs to be a little more disciplined, maybe set some goals for himself, because he keeps saying it just changes. He's knitting this wrap, which I'll show in a moment, for his mother. And it was initially for her birthday, and then it was for Mother's Day, and then it was for Christmas, and then it was for her birthday, and then it was for Mother's Day, and then it was for Christmas. So I'm not sure when she's gonna get it, but he's a third of the way done, making good progress, but just slowly. So anyway, well, what do we have on?
Let's talk about Ohio. Let's talk about. Okay, so we did a lot of work. Whenever we're together, we do really intense work and get a lot done. And it felt really good to get we have made so much progress on so many things in the last couple weeks. But the non-work stuff we did that was also work is that our parents, out of love, have like kept every momentum of our
momentum.
Words are hard for me, but they've kept like all of these cherished things from our childhood.
Some not even cherished, but they have cherished.
I was gonna leave that part out.
Yeah, like stuff that we're just like, I don't know. I guess it makes me feel like if we're ever accused of a crime, our parents can back up where we were, like every moment. Like they saved every ticket stub for performances we were in, for baseball games we went.
I know. And it kind of hurt my heart a little when Dad was like, I thought maybe those would be memories. I was like, but I remember it, Dad.
Well, and to be fair, when you grow up in a family where nothing is, where you have very little, and then nothing is saved or cherished, right? Just because you don't have the space or the time or the mental energy, I think there's a natural tendency to then overcompensate. So you want to make sure we didn't have that same experience growing up, and we did not.
Well, I have to say, our parents really were fantastic.
They were.
We are very fortunate to have parents who loved us. It was not always perfect. We definitely did not have a lot of extra things growing up, but there was plenty of affection. And we played this game while we were home called it's not a real game, but it's like memory lane. And we had to try to think of memories that maybe the other people had forgotten. And it was really fun.
It was fun. I encourage you all to do it if you have an environment in which you can share memories, happy memories. It's
happy memories.
You have to remember not to dwell on the unhappy ones. It's okay to.
I had a few that I was like, oh, don't say that one.
Yeah. And I think, there were some really good ones. I did love. Can I share one with the podcast?
Yeah.
So one of my favorites. We had this car, and I must have been like 4 or 5 years old. I mean, it was kindergarten-ish. You know, I remember being very small, and we had this station wagon. We had a couple station wagons. But this one was a hand-me-down that we had gotten from a family member. And what I remember about it was, well, first of all, we had some friends or other kids from school in the car with us. I think there were maybe 4 of us in the back seat. And this was at a time where I don't think seat belts were really a thing. I don't know. Anyway, I remember not wearing my seatbelt and running around in the back. But what I was so excited to have my friends or these other kids in the car, because I wanted to show them the hole. So this car was rusted out in the backseat footwell. It had a hole, and if you moved the my parents kept a cover, like a floor cover over it, but you could move it all the way, and then you'd see the pavement going by, and you could throw things down there. And it was very exciting, and I was so excited to show my friends. And I just remember that sense of like how impressed they were going to be with me and with us for having this cool feature in our car. And it was funny because when we were recounting it with our parents, I think they almost felt a little embarrassed that we had this car that was so crappy it had a hole in it. But to us, like as a kid, I had no idea it was a crappy thing. I thought it was amazing.
I love that. I would have never remembered that if you hadn't brought it up, and it's still
Oh,
kind of vague.
yeah, yeah, it was.
The whole did
Well,
it,
and
the
then you
whole
were
did not
go ahead.
the whole did not excite me as much as it excited you.
It just, I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, this is something that's supposed to be like the pavement going by, that's supposed to be outside the car, but I can access it from inside the car.
It's so good.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a
But
really nice thing.
to get back on topic,
Yeah.
the reason we bring this up is many, many, many of the boxes in the
Yes.
basement
So many boxes.
have things that our mother made us, or things that we were doing as crafty young children too. I took one thing that mom had made us. I can remember this little horse being a little kid. I loved horses from an early age, and mom made several different horses.
And now she has two. Can I just say, like, I never understood where this love of horses came from because we were never around horses. Like, horses were so far from our reality, but Andrea loved them, and she always said she was going to have a horse someday. And
You
look at
know what
that.
I think? I
Dreams
have
come
come
true.
to believe. I've come to believe that a lot of our dreams, whether we know it or not, are for our like self growth that we need, because I thought horses were beautiful and I wanted to pet their manes and brush their tails, but they're actually very powerful, and you have to be kind of brave and be willing to fall off and hurt yourself a few times. So I have become a much braver person. I'm still not brave, but I'm braver than I was.
You are brave.
I'm braver than I was.
Also, I just thought it was funny you're holding up that little red horse while you're talking about how strong and powerful horses were. I like that.
This is so cute. I really have this kind of desire to knit a replica and do a little Fair Isle pattern on it, like this has. It's really cute.
Um, and so I did also find a lot of things. I found a lot of things I made. And then I forgot to bring a few of them home. I need to. I'm going back. I got another one of these cheap fairs, so I'm going to be back sometime in the near future. But I did find I had a uh phase, I guess, where I was into painting ceramics as a little kid, and I found
Here it
this
is.
that I painted, and I brought it home because I love it. It's a little
So,
pig.
it's so cute.
You see it? It's not, my camera's not focusing on it, and there's so much light from my window. Can I?
I can see it. It's cute.
Anyway, it's got these fun little eyes. I love its eyes. It looks a little crazy. um, so Matt and I have already decided that this is like the lucky pig, and it's so like, we can hide it places when one of us needs luck. We'll just slip it into the pocket, carry it around with you all day. Um, but yeah, I love this little guy. I think I'm gonna put a magnet on him too, and maybe keep him on the fridge because he
I
right
love
now
it.
nothing. But Yeah. And then I found, so our mother taught us how to sew when we were very young. And I found this little guy I made. He wasn't really gendered, but I did use he pronouns. But I didn't think of him as having a gender. But he was this little doll, and I put googly eyes on him. I mean, it is rough. It is not at all fancy, and like all the seams are on the outside. I didn't turn the seams right, and then so I made this little guy, and I made him a pillow because he needed a pillow. Um, and then I started making him all these clothes, almost like a Barbie, but like the opposite of what Barbie is. I can't I
Hmm.
wish I remembered what I called him. He had a really cool name. It was a long name. I want to say it was like, I know it wasn't Francisco, but it was something kind of in that vein. So, that was my doorbell. I'm not getting it. I know what it is. You
Well,
know what it is? It's
no.
Knitrino mailing labels. I ordered more.
Yay! I just got a big box of yarn on my porch yesterday. Oh, but wait, before we talk about any of that, I think the most fun thing we discovered in our basement, and why didn't we bring them?
Oh, we meant to. I will bring them. I will bring them next time.
Maybe we should save it. Maybe we shouldn't
We'll
even say
save
what
it.
they were. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, you can guess if you want to put it in the comments, a guess of what we found. And it involves handmade things. Do you want to give them more of a hint than that, or no?
No one's ever gonna guess.
No. Um,
But
we
but
they were matching.
there are some life goals of replicating.
Yeah, yeah. We'll come back to that.
So cute. Jane Fonda would. Oh, that's a good hint. Jane Fonda would. Would approve. All right. Okay. So we were in Ohio and now we're home. Oh, that's why we missed the podcast last week because we were traveling. We really had a goal of doing the podcast and trying to teach our dad how to knit, but there's just too much going on.
There was too much going on, and I don't know. I was ready for the world. I mean, and by world I mean internet, to fall in love with our dad. I have a feeling he'll be the thing that makes Knitrino successful. And in a way I'll love it, and in a way I'll be like, really? Anyway, next time. Maybe when I'm there next time. We'll see.
So, segmenting into our current situation, we are now back in Oklahoma and Seattle. And we are doing our fourth podcast. We really don't have a lot to say. This is not going to be our longest podcast.
I don't have any demos ready, but you guys tell me if you want to see demos, and I'll do them. I just, sometimes it takes a little mental energy.
Maybe instead of a demo, we can think of just like something that we could talk people through. Like, have we talked about blocking? Like there's kind of simple things.
I just made a really cool video on blocking too. So anyway.
So let's talk about what we're wearing. Alison, you want to talk about what you did last night and why you're wearing what you're wearing?
I had the good fortune to score. So the Seattle Symphony does a sale every year. You'll notice I buy things when they're on sale. I got some very good tickets for the Seattle Symphony last night. They were playing one of my all-time favorites, which is Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto.
Can you do a little?
Yeah, it's the one that goes boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba 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 bo 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 bo. That's the one. And the pianist that was playing was incredible, and I had not heard him before. He goes by Nobu, but he is I can't quite remember his last name without looking. I think it was Nobuyuki Soji. I may be mispronouncing it, but he is a Japanese virtuoso who also happens to be blind, which I don't think it is necessarily that hard a thing to play the piano when you're blind, but to learn to play music when you're blind is probably very challenging. And in fact, he had some specific challenges because he was trying to learn to play piano with Braille, and there was a real shortage of Braille music. And so he worked with other musicians to learn. I think it wasn't really detailed, the thing I was reading about him, but I think it was like they would record things for him and he would learn them in sections. So I think it was more auditory learning. But anyway, he was amazing, and he played it's one of the hardest pieces. It's known to be a very difficult piece to play, and he played it just brilliantly. He got a standing ovation, and then we encored him, and he played Jesu Joy, which was absolutely lovely and kind of the antithesis of Rachmaninoff. And he got another standing ovation, and it was just amazing. I really loved it, and it was
Okay,
so.
you're kind of rambling about music, but that's a good thing to know. If you're watching this, my guess is there are a lot of music fans out there. Like, if you're a music fan, do you know this Rachmaninoff piece, or did you like hearing us talk about some other things besides knitting?
I can edit it down if you want. So tell me leave it in the comments. Say, Alison, that was too much about classical music. Edit it out next time. But
I think people will love it. I think people will
all
love it.
that to say, I was really struggling. It's kind of another long rambly story, which I'll shorten. But I was all dressed up to go to the symphony, and I needed a sweater. And my sweater, the one I wanted to wear, which is a little dressy, it was pilling really bad, and I couldn't find my gleaner. And so I was like, I got really frustrated, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this. And so I put this on instead of a sweater, and it's so beautiful and dressy. It is the Solaris wrap. It's by one of my favorite designers. What, Andrea?
I made that.
You did.
I forgot that I made that one.
Yeah, and I stole it from you.
Actually, you didn't. I gave it to you.
So it's just gorgeous. It's this geometric lace designed by Andrea Cole, right there. And I absolutely love it. It's massive. It's really, really long. I don't even think I can show you how long it is. And it has a gorgeous drape. It's just perfect for the symphony. It's warm and just very drapey and dramatic.
Yes.
Yes, I love this. I wore it. It didn't quite match what I was wearing, and I didn't care.
It's beautiful.
It is. Thank you. Thank you for making it.
You know, it's funny because I remember that you gave me the yarn.
I did.
Before you were a knitter, and it was really, really nice yarn. I think it's probably at that point in time more than either of us had ever paid for yarn before.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing. Oh, and I should say, you can get this pattern still in Knitrino. Not the yarn, but the pattern.
But we do recommend Little Fox yarn.
Yes, that's what the sample was in, and Andrea has one that is not currently at her house in Little Fox. This is not Little Fox, but
sometimes things we make travel all around the world to go meet new people and say hi from Oklahoma. So yeah, things don't stay forever in Knitrino. So if you want that, you should get it. Although things that I design can stay a little longer because
she gives us a longer exclusivity period.
But like the thing I'm currently working on has been in progress for probably a year. I don't know. It's the Verdant stole. That's the wrong side. This wool, it kind of like Velcro for dog hair. But this is no longer available. So I mean, and
we'll say when we say available, we mean available for sale. So if once you purchase something, it's yours forever.
Which is why I'm still able to knit it.
Yeah. And maybe I'll see if I can pop in a picture to show you guys what that looks like, because when it's not blocked, it bunches up kind of differently. But I'll splice in a picture of the blocked ones. It's really
so you know what's really funny? Kind of a long story, but I'm glad that I saved it. Because I was remembering when you bought me that yarn. You were not a knitter. Knitrino was not even a twinkle in her mother's eye.
her mother's plural.
Mother's. But I was helping do some things on Ravelry for some new patterns that are coming out today. And I was trying to remember if Alison had shared some Ravelry information with me in our text. And so I went into our text message history and I just searched for Ravelry. And it was interesting that there were 139 finds in our texting. And hopefully I can find the one that I was looking at. But this is from June of 2018. Can you remember what you were doing in June of 2018?
Yes.
So I asked, what are you up to? And what were you doing in June of 2018?
Well, I'm not quite sure of the timing, but I was still working at my last company, and it was the summer break for my MBA. I was getting my MBA.
Oh, no, it was not, because you said you were sadly working on homework.
No. Oh. Well, and that's what I was going to say. So during the summer break, we went to Panama and Peru. Right. And we had assignments we had to do in preparation for that. So I think that's probably what it was, because I don't think I was in class in June. I was. I think finals were like June 10th.
So then I asked, when are you done with your MBA? And you said, maybe it's boring to read text messages. You said, next week will end my first year, then only 367 days to go. I like that you were so precise. And I said, is it worth it? And you said, if I start a business, it's definitely worth it. And it's so funny, it's so funny to look back on these messages before we were even planning anything together. And I said, you really amaze me. It's hard to believe we're only a few IQ points apart. And then this is the best part. You said, haha, whatevs. I could never knit like you.
Oh, look, there it is.
How funny is that?
Back when we were young. So young, so naive. All right. So that was a fun little walk down memory lane too.
It was fun.
Tell me about what you're wearing.
Okay. So this is a little naughty. It is something Alison and I designed together. And by designed, I mean, she did the hard parts.
No, she did the design. I did the engineering.
So it is, I think we showed this maybe before, but I want to show it a little better and how I like to wear it. This is the extra long.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's important to point out, this is the extra long one. So
so it does resemble kind of a necktie from kind of men's fashion.
And all of the section names are named after parts of the necktie. So we actually got the necktie anatomy and named the sections after it. So in case you were wondering about tipping.
So we can talk a little bit about our design process when we design things. And maybe it's my design process, but I usually start with an inspiration. And for this one, Alison was inspired by a vintage pattern, and she sent me the pattern, and it was terrible, you guys. They wanted you to knit this thing, and then they wanted to have a slot to tuck it through, but it was like you didn't want to do it. It was terrible. And so I was like,
it was knitting part, splitting it onto 3 needles and knitting them separately, anyway.
Leaving the other 2 hold, knit one, join the new yarn. Yeah. It was yucky. I was like, I don't want to knit this. I know no one else is going to want to knit it. And so then I went looking through a bunch of other vintage patterns, and I found this other one that had this alternative knot that's so cleverly designed that you increase it so it kind of gets wide, and then you knit one onto the front needle or slip one onto the front. So you're separating them, one onto the front needle, one onto the back needle. So you cut your stitches in half, which cinches it in like this, making it look like a little knot is tied in the fabric, and it's double-sided.
Which I will say, we kind of thought of this separately because for those who have been around for a while and might have knit Anna of Mochi Mochi Land's Tiny T-Rex, her T-Rex actually starts with a clever little seam that's kind of like this, where you're distributing the stitches onto 2 needles. And so I separately had the thought process that would work really well for this. And Andrea came up with it on her own. And so we just thought, this is great. So yeah, you split up the stitches, you knit the front and the back, and then you recombine them, and you get this nice little knot.
It's really
little hole.
It's really like it gives me a very good sense of accomplishment. Like, it's something that like Alison said, we thought of it separately. I did not think of it. I found an old vintage pattern that had
I didn't either. I mean, I learned it from Anna. So
yeah, which, I mean, so many things in knitting are kind of jumping off points from what someone else cleverly came up with. So the way I like to wear my extra long, which I will confess to not having done a gauge swatch, and it came out extra long. So I wrap it around. It's supposed to wrap around twice, but mine is so long that I have a really long tail still, and it's not long enough to wrap around 3 times, but it's perfect because what I like to do is tuck it in my knot, and then it's hard to do this when I can't really see myself.
But it's working.
Take it around the back beside my neck. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then tuck it through again. And it makes the knot really kind of puffy and cute.
Yes. So
cute.
I will say, we were just thinking of the fact that Valentine's Day is coming up, and however you feel about Valentine's Day,
we all don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know very many people who actually really like it,
Commercial.
but we invite you to stay home on Valentine's Day and knit yourself a little pink, little naughty. Oh, because we still have some of the cashmere.
We sold out of green, but we only have a couple skeins of the pink left. It's really, really, really lovely, and you can't get this anywhere else on earth. Like, Heidi, the cashmere grower, designed this special. Like, they dyed it. Can you help me remember? I think they dyed the fleece. Do you call it fleece when it's cashmere?
I don't know.
They dyed the fiber. Separately on a white base and a gray base with the same dye, and then they milled it together so it's like a 2-ply, but there's a lot of very subtle heathering from the 2 different colors of the base that they used, and it's 100% clean cashmere. If you don't know about clean cashmere, you need to check them out. We should have them on as guests when our viewership is maybe it's now. I mean, I've been really happy with how many people are watching our podcast. Thank you, everyone, if you're still here watching.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to say, we were going to talk about the forthcoming release. So if you're watching this, it should be, hopefully, release day for our mittens. Andrea has some of them there. There they are. And I showed, I think, a few last time, but maybe I'll just show a few more because I also have these and these.
They're so cute.
And best of all, wrong way. Let's make them all the same hand. So, and then also, of course, the same sample that Andrea has. But all of these are in Blue Sky Fiber Woolstock Light, so it's a fingering weight, and it's super sticky. And I mean, I had so much fun making these. Now, this one only uses 5 colors because I've made the motif color here the same, whereas in the original it's 6 colors because we used this kind of two-tone, which I mean, it's gorgeous. I would have
Well,
used more colors, but I didn't have more that went together.
the part of the problem is we knit like 16 of these get them right. So eventually, whenever you go to a new color combo, you're like, "Ooh, this is fresh," because you've been doing this
I
one.
would have kept knitting. I love this color combo so much.
I love this color combo too. It's
Um,
so fun. I
so
think
fun.
this green makes it for me.
Me
It
too.
makes it seem youthful.
I know. It's just such a great green, and yeah, I love it. And so this
And
is the large. I also have a small here somewhere. Where'd my small go?
the designer is our favorite Faye Kennington.
So here's the small, without a thumb. Yes, Faye Kennington, Yuki Knits designed these. So I think we may have a few kits for these. I'm not sure. But you
We
can
do.
check. You could check in Knitrino, and you'll. But if the best part is, if you get a kit, you can knit so many mittens with it, and you can always switch up the colors, because you're going to have way more yarn. Since it's in 6 colors, you'll have lots to choose from, and you can. Somebody, Tammy, switched it up and did the kind of purpley pink as the main color,
And they came out really, really
hers
cute.
came out really pretty. I mean, you just can't go wrong. These colors are so great.
Well, and you can go in Knitrino and play around with the colors to make sure you're going to like it before you even knit it.
Yes, exactly.
And I will say, speaking of like 6 colors and how many mittens you're going to make, this Woolstock Light is a 50-gram skein. So our kit came with a lot of yarn, but it's a really nice Highland wool. And like Alison said, super sticky. When we started with these, I was using a superwash and I just said, I can't, like, it wasn't giving me the kind of, can you hear my dogs barking?
I can hear them, but that's okay. They're just excited about mittens.
I forgot I left the 2 of them outside. So Jed's really upset right now.
Well, if you would like, we
No.
can hold up our mittens and pause.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Ooh, it kind of goes with this, doesn't it?
It does. I was thinking, well, I guess mine doesn't really go, but this color goes with everything, I feel like. Maybe with these.
Oh, we learned from our dad that when you want to pose.
Oh, yeah. So we'll show that picture. There's a photo of my mom and Andrea sitting together wearing the Mount Lauren sweater, and they're both doing this. If you pose like this, not only does it look cute, but it covers your aging neck. So we're doing that more and more now. You'll see us in all our Instagrams. Great. Well, should we show a few of the pictures we took, or should we save that with our family for?
Yeah, we can show them. They're so cute.
Oh my gosh. So here we are. It snowed while we were in Ohio, and this is our dad and Andrea's husband, and we're all modeling different gloves. So cute. It was really hard to get all 4 of us looking reasonable, where you could also see the mittens. Oh, and Andrea took this cute picture of all the mittens laying on the table. Yeah.
So many pictures. Also, we knit our dad's dog the sweater.
Oh, yes, let's show that. So this is our brother, Scout, and we knit him an adorable, and by we, Andrea knit him an adorable dog sweater.
But Alison knit Dad an adorable matching hat. They're so cute.
Dad's got a matching hat. Oh, look at Scout
says,
with all that snow on his face.
Scout's sweater says Scout on it, and Dad's hat says Gary on it. Because our dad is such a friendly extrovert. Like, he loves to talk to people.
Yeah. And then
Can I?
while we're showing pictures, so a few podcasts ago, oh look, there they are. There they are. A few podcasts ago, I was talking about how I like to ski because I get to wear my hand knits when I ski, and that is a lot of the fun for me. And so I did get to wear my new little hat, which has the little knotty scarf on it,
So cute.
and my sweater, and here it is.
It's so cute.
So silly. I love it.
So
I
cute.
can't wait to start my next one. I just need a little free time. Too much work knitting.
Can I change the subject?
Yeah.
I started the best show last night, and it has so many good knits in it. It's called The Lying Life of Adults, and it's set near Naples, and it's in Italian, and I can understand it like a child would. So I'm sure there's some adult content that I'm not picking up on, but I understand like a 2-year-old would understand it probably. But I just love listening to Italian. Like it's relaxing not to have to follow it so closely while I'm knitting.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, though, the things she wears in this show are so good.
So
I mean,
what's it called again?
The Lying Life of Adults.
Of adults.
Adults. Yes, we're all liars. It's true.
And so we watched this show on
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
And when you find it, it might have the title in Italian, but if you search Lying Life of Adults, it'll come up. And I'm sure you can put subtitles on, but I know enough Italian, I could follow it enough, and I just wanted to be able to knit. But I don't know if anyone's interested, but this sweater that she wore, I am just like kind of obsessed over. I'm not going to rip it off. I don't believe in ripping off other people's creative.
Someone already has, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's free on Ravelry, and everyone's going to thank that person. But I am going to be inspired by it and create something new and unique. But I love what they did. It's got color work, but they did it like very simple color work patterns. Like one is just probably knit one with A, knit one with B, like stripes. And then at the halfway point, they switched to a pixel version of knit one, then you shift the rows and knit one. And it just looks really cool. It looks like something that would almost be like intarsia or something that would be seamed maybe, but it's just a clever use of color work patterns next to each other. I really liked it.
Cool. We'll have
But
to see if we can find it.
Several cool sweaters in the first couple episodes. I took lots of pictures of my TV last night. That's it.
That's it. We're done. 4 episodes.
I feel like this was a good length of chatting. We, like we said, we didn't do a demo today, but request what you want to see next.
You look so perplexed.
Well, I was thinking, were we going to talk about your latest blog? No.
I mean,
okay.
We will have, actually, we can add, so I have made a blog post for the mittens. Well, it's really about afterthought thumbs, and it has a whole bunch of background info on kind of how we engineered the afterthought thumb that's in this mitten. And so if you want to learn more about afterthought thumbs or why you might choose an afterthought thumb over a gusset thumb, you'll be able to read that blog post by the time our podcast is posted. So I'll put in a link or something. Yay, mittens!
They're really cute. They're really, really cute. I wish I had more time to knit more mittens.
Me too. All right.
But my boss won't let me.
You know what? Our boss is a bitch. I'm just going to say it. And we never know when we say that which one of us we're talking about. Maybe both.
Yep. And day to day it changes.
Do we want to ask a question? How about what was the first thing you ever knit?
Oh, I like that.
Tell us about the first thing you ever knit. Tell us about it. What was it? Did you use a pattern? Yes.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
I think it's probably not the first thing I ever knit, but it's the first thing I can remember knitting was this poncho. And I mean, it was like in the 2000s. It was like, were ponchos making a revival? Maybe, or maybe that's all I could think of that I could knit that wasn't a scarf. And I remember when I got done with it, I was so, so, so proud of it. And I noticed at some point that there were all these drop stitches. I didn't even know what a drop stitch was, or let alone that I was doing it. And I can remember what yarn, what color, acrylic, and I wish so bad I had kept that. It's one of my biggest life regrets.
Well, if that's your biggest life regret, you're doing
that
pretty good.
I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
But on the scale of knitting, it's probably my biggest life regret. Yeah. Do you remember the first thing you did?
Yes. Do you want to hear what it was?
Yes.
It was, we talked about it last time, that sweater I got. But see, it wasn't something I was excited about. So I never finished it. Like, I got the yarn for this bulky sweater, but I didn't really have a plan for the sweater, and it wasn't a style that I wanted. I didn't even like bulky yarn. We just thought I'd be fast. And so then I abandoned that, and then I went back and did it's a 1951 V-neck from a Vintage Vogue knitting magazine in fingering weight. That was my first thing.
So cute.
And I still have it and I wear it. So
I would say this too. It is a fallacy that very many people believe that for new knitters, you should use bulky, extra bulky, chunky yarn. And it's not easy to knit with.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends. If you really like the look of it and you like that style, and that's what's gonna motivate you to keep knitting, then do it. But don't start a new knitter with bulky yarn if they don't love that style or it's not. Yeah, I
think like worsted to Aran is probably excellent, like because you're gonna get it done fast enough, but it's not terrible to work with. But anything over that where you're using like size 15 needles or something.
And think about what motivates the new knitter, right? Because we're all motivated differently. So some of us are motivated to get done quickly. Some of us are motivated to make this thing we really want. So all right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the end. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.